Hello and welcome to The Bounce, the number one podcast for everything basketball in Nigeria and across Africa. I believe you already know that the men and women's senior basketball league is currently going on in Nigeria, and the men's league is being played in 4 different venues, 2 conferences as usual, but 4 groups. Group A and B in the Savannah Conference, Group A and B in the Atlantic Conference. The first phase of the league has rounded up, and we're looking forward to the second phase of the league. As for the women's, the first and second phase is done, and then we're looking forward to the playoffs. So today we're going to be ranking the top 5 male and top 5 female teams in Nigeria basketball. Let's get to it. Ranking the top 5 women's basketball league in Nigeria. Please note, this is a personal opinion. You could have a different opinion, and that's fine. So if your ranking is different from mine, please leave it in the comment section and feel free to share your own thoughts. At number 5, I'll give you Titans Basketball Academy. The reason why I'm putting them in number 5 is because they're new in the league and they're showing some level of dominance. I mean, it's just their second year in the league. The first year they made it to the finals in Lagos. That's the playoffs level in Lagos. And in the second year, they're already top of the Savannah Conference. I mean, that's a very huge leap, and they deserve to be in the top 5, and I'm leaving them at number 5. At number 4, I'll give you Dolphins Basketball. After the sad demise of their former team owner, the team went quiet for a while. They stayed away from the basketball scene for a while, but they resurfaced, and then gradually they started building from scratch. Lost some games, and then they've grown to that level where they are now a threat, and they are being a pin on the neck in some of the most dominant teams. So Dolphins Basketball at number 4. At number 3, I'll give you Customs. The Nigerian Customs are one of the most dominant women basketball team in, let me take that again. The Nigerian Customs are one of the most dominant women's basketball team in Nigeria, and they've won lots of major championships, played in the finals a couple of times, and they've represented Nigeria at the Women's Basketball League Africa in I think in the last 2 years. So I leave them at number 3. At number 2, I call them the Wounded Lions. Some people say they got bored of winning and then decided to lose a little bit. I give you First Bank Women's Basketball. First Bank is the most dominant basketball women's team ever in Nigeria. I'll give that to them. But they've been away. I think they had something called a banana slip, and then from being top, they started losing some games, and then they've been coming second, third in the past 3 years, if I have that correctly, and they got bored of winning, and now they're struggling and finding their way back to the top. Yeah, so First Bank Women's Basketball at number 2. And then at number 1, give you MFM, Mountain of Fire Women's Basketball Team. 2-time consecutive champions in the last 2 years, beating, before now, they always come second to First Bank. I mean, almost every championship that they came second, they lost to First Bank in the finals. Yeah, so they've tasted victory, they've tasted what being at the top means, and they're doing everything they can to stay at the top. So those are my 5 top women's basketball team in Nigeria. What's your opinion? Let's hear it in the comment section. Meanwhile, the championship is open. I'm not saying MFM are still going to win this year, but I'm ranking them as the number 1 women's basketball team. Then now let's get to the men's basketball teams. Very dicey, very complicated, but I'm still going to give you top 5 men. Like I said, in my opinion, let's hear yours. At number 5, I give you Kano Pillars Basketball. I know a lot of you are not going to be comfortable having them at number 5, yeah, but that's where I place them. 2 reasons. 1, they were one of the 4 teams to make it to the final 8 in Port Harcourt last year, and this year they've taken a step further to dominate their group in the second group of the Savannah Conference. They were unbeaten in the first and second phase. Yeah, so I leave Kano Pillars at number 5. At number 4, I'll give you Nigerian University basketball team. aka the Schoolboys, one of the most progressive basketball teams in Nigeria. I mean, they grew through the ranks from Division 2 to Division 1 and then now in the Premier League. They also made it to the Final 8 last year and they came fourth after keenly contesting the third place against City Chiefs basketball. They have also recruited some players. I mean, talking about players like Austin Akpejiri. It's a very good addition, and a couple of other players. So they are going for the championship. And then at number 3, yes, another very controversial take or another very controversial ranking. I give you Marktown Flyers, who are taking the slot of Lagos Legends. They are newcomers in the league, but the players on the team are not new players at all. I mean, they have guys like Bright Akwete, Chinka Garoba, Thomas Agbo, who is like one of the most dominant point guards currently in Nigeria, and a couple of other players that are very, very competitive. So I have my reasons why I put them at number 3, and you can argue that it's fine. At number 2, I'll give you Boko City Chiefs. In the last 3 years, they've made it to the playoffs. 2 years ago, they came second, and last year they came third. Very, very good contenders. I'm very sure they're also going in for the championship. So I give you City Chiefs at number 2. And then at number 1, you already know, I'm sure you were expecting that, River Hoopers Basketball Club, the most dominant basketball team in the last 10 years. They've won 6 Premier League titles in the last 10 years, and they've been to the Basketball Africa League 3 times. Although their performance in the last Basketball Africa League wasn't as good as we expected, but historically they've won bronze medal once, and with their head coach being coach of the year in that year that they won the bronze medal. So those are my top 5 women's basketball team and top 5 men's basketball team. Like I said, you can argue that, and I'd love to see you argue it. Also, I'd like to have you guess which team is going to win the men's league and which team is going to win the women's league. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow The Bounce on all social media platforms. See you on the next one.